Latino studies is a critical eye to the past, present, and future.
Grounding yourself in an interdisciplinary frame where you don't limit what you read and what you can learn from scholars.
My name is Julie Dowling. I'm an associate professor in the Department of Latino Studies.
My name is Ariana, and I'm a first-generation college student and now graduate student.
My name is Peter Burgos. I'm Puerto Rican and Black college student here at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign.
My name is Richard T. Rodriguez. I'm an associate professor of English and Latino Studies here at the University of Illinois.
I am a sociologist by training. My research focuses on racial identity and classification issues. It is an examination of Mexican American responses to the census and sort of the disjuncture between what people label as on a form for the government and how they personally identify themselves. For example, many Mexican Americans check white on the census when they are not phenotypically white, nor are they culturally assimilated, or do they label themselves as white in their daily lives. They identify in this way because of the racial profiling and discrimination issues that they face, and they want to assert to the government they are American and to be accepted and treated as full American citizens. So I'm interested in this contrast between how people publicly identify themselves and how they do so privately. And so that is an interest that drives my research on racial classification. The number of Latinos in this country is increasing. Each day we are becoming a more diverse society, and the field of Latino studies is growing to meet the challenges of these changing demographics. Students from all cultural, racial, ethnic backgrounds can benefit from our courses, which engage on the issues of racial justice in an increasingly global world.
I'm a PhD graduate student in the Department of English with a minor in Latino Studies, and I originally came to the U of I to do work with leading scholars in my fields of literature, race studies, and cultural studies. Once I got here, I found a very supportive, research-oriented environment, faculty that was caring and interested in my development as a scholar. Latino Studies works in tandem with literature and other departments, whether that be history, sociology, anthropology, political science, etc. And together, it really helps me focus and think about my work through an interdisciplinary lens. I took my first Latino Studies course in undergrad, and it was a life-altering moment for me. It helped contextualize my presence at the university historically, politically, culturally. And from there, the more I learned about myself, the more I learned about my connections to others. Latino Studies has been a major part of my research and myself. It's become the crux methodologically and theoretically of my development as a scholar.
I'm 20 years old. Right now I'm majoring in history and Latino studies. I'm a Gates Millennium Scholar. It's available for college, for high school seniors who are students of color, as well as low-income students. Because everything what I do with Latino studies is connection with my own self, because I never had the opportunity to learn about my own culture or history. So I always try to connect it through my own experience. Latino studies helps a lot of people understand another person's culture, which is valuable, I think, in the career force, because this is the United States. We're a melting pot. We have to be able to work with not just people of different genders of class, but also people of different racial backgrounds.
I was always interested in Latino studies, even as an undergraduate. My decision to pursue an English degree was in large part because of my love of Latino literature. My first job out of graduate school was in a department of Chicano studies, which was focused almost exclusively on Mexican American communities. But in coming to Illinois, I found that my focus on Mexican Americans would be radically altered because of the demographic differences in the Midwest as well as on the East Coast. And so Latino studies, in contrast to Chicano studies, was an opportunity for me to think comparatively about various Latin American populations in the United States. And it was challenging at first, but a welcome challenge, where students in my classes here at Illinois were Mexican, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Dominican, Colombian, a wide range of Latino backgrounds. And having exposure to those students really forced me to rethink what I knew and what could be possible under the rubric of Latino studies. So now my courses are very comparative in focus, and I take seriously what Latina and Latino means, both as an umbrella term that allows us to think comparatively about populations that live side by side, as well as a population that is growing by leaps and bounds in the United States that at first glance may have nothing to do with each other, but the second glance reveals a lot of similarities, and not only linguistically, but through cultural practices, intermarriage, various kinds of relationships through labor that are forged between various populations, that really make us think about the historicity of what Latino means in this day and age.